Rolling down the highway, chasing the sun. Larry's at the wheel, got the engine on the run. Songs, he's got the playlist, singing it out loud. Another open road, another brand new town. From the mountains high to the oceans deep, they're living the dream, they ain't losing sleep. With a glass more full and a tank of gas, they ain't slowing down, they ain't looking back. They fly through the skies, facing the breeze. Roll down the road, feeling so free. Ride the waves where the sunsets go. Forever Huffs living wherever they go. Cruising down the coastline, drinking their hands, dancing on the deck to a steel drum band. Larry's cracking jokes, making new best friends. Saucy snapping pictures, cause the fun won't end. From the northern lights to the streets of Rome, everywhere they go they make it their home. With the world so big and their hearts so wide, they'll keep on moving till the end of the ride. They fly through the skies, chasing the breeze. Roll down the road, feeling so free. Ride the waves where the sunsets go. Forever Huffs living wherever they go. No map, no plan, just a ticket in hand. They'll follow the stars and the golden sand. Every new town, another great story. Living this life in all of its glory. They fly through the skies, chasing the breeze. Roll down the road, feeling so free. Ride the waves where the sunsets go. Forever Huffs living wherever they go. So if you see them on by, give them a wave. They're chasing adventure, they're feeling brave. Larry and Saucy, hearts open wide. Forever Huffs living, enjoying the ride.
Well, here we are.
Hey, Paul and Chucky.
Hey, Chucky. Hey, Paul. Paul was here first. Paul got here like right before we went live and set up. He beat everybody. He being slick, coming in before everybody gets here. Hey, we hope y'all have some coffee or some water or tea or something. I saw some of them talking this morning. They said they would have something to drink, but probably not coffee. Probably have water. I think Miss PJ, maybe Paul said that. Okay, Chucky's having a Diet Coke salute. Well, I know Miss Mama Coop and Chris were live. I don't know if they're still live or not. I hadn't looked lately, but of course they're doing it every day.
Watching it, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was watching for a long time. So they might still have some of the, what you looking for?
Let's see if you took your medicine.
Huh?
Your medicine.
I did take my medicine. I was going to get me some man glasses. These man glasses? No. I just those they look like needles.
No.
Ooh.
Are they?
Ooh.
Yep.
There we go. That's better. I don't know if those are better or not. Oh, Paul and Miss PJ have a date to watch us. Well, good. Why do dogs have to do that? They've been laying around all day. We go live and they decide to play right behind us. Can y'all hear all that? Good gracious. I mean, literally been laying around on the floor
It's
all
like
day.
kids when you get on the telephone.
Yeah.
They want to stand right under you and
here
ask
they
questions.
are right behind us playing. Good gracious. So it's been a week. Neil,
Get out of here.
take them outside.
Y'all go.
I don't know if y'all, let me show y'all. Yeah, now they got camera fright or stage fright or whatever.
Okay. Y'all go lay down. Go outside.
Yeah, Miss PJ probably be along shortly. She's normally in pretty quick. She is a faithful watcher in the mornings. This morning she took over for me. We had a doctor's appointment, and what the hell's drama is on pause. So streamers are slowing down and getting back to old streaming tactics till things pick back up. I don't know what's going on with that court case.
Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Oh,
What the
wow.
hell is this WTH?
Oh.
Yeah, I've said before, we pick up bits and pieces, but that's just not our thing, I guess. So we don't really know what's going on. I guess that what's his name, Jeremy. I think his name's Jeremy Hales. I guess he's winning. I don't know. Y'all tell me. So we got a couple of chickadees that come to our feeder in the mornings, but they also have a nest in one of the birdhouses I built, and we call them Cletus and Darling. So Cletus and Darling Darling laid about 6 eggs. Best we could tell, it was about 6 eggs. And
I like the drama-free. Personally, I like drama-free.
oh, drama free, yeah, that's right. So the eggs started hatching the other day. I assume all of them hatched. I don't know. We saw 2 of them had hatched out, and then since then, when I got a picture, a little video, Darling was in the nest, so
Sitting
I couldn't.
on 'em,
Yeah,
warming
so
them,
she's on them, keeping them warm. I don't know how many hatched out, but that's been fun, kind of keeping up with that. And we got videos about all that stuff, building the birdhouses. Oh, it's a long, drawn out.
No,
No, what?
I looked up. I can't point. This is overlay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it thinking, who is overlay?
Oh, goodness. But anyway, I got a video out there from the start of this deal. I built 2 birdhouses. I was just building simple bluebird boxes, but I left a gap in them where I could slide my phone up in there and take pictures or video, what have you, and put them up. One of them's still empty, and the chickadees moved into.
Well, they was gonna move in, but it was faulty.
It was
the bottom
faulty.
fell out of
We're
it.
not going to talk about that.
Why would they want to move in and trust?
Well, yeah, they did start moving into one, and then they switched and moved to the other. But we documented from building the birdhouse to now we have birds and chicks.
Hey, Miss PJ. Hey, Georgie.
Hey, Georgie and Miss PJ finally made it. Look at there. Your date's been waiting on you.
Chucky asked you a question.
What'd Chucky say? Let's see. As long as on it. Did you follow NASCAR at all? Did you see Cletus McFarland?
I don't follow NASCAR.
Top 10 finish last week. I have not followed NASCAR in quite some time. I used to, but when they changed it up and they went to, this, I don't know, some races are like they run 20 laps and then they do 20 more laps, then they stop, do 20 more. And I don't know, it just got confused. It used to be, hey, we're going to start, and whoever gets to the finish line first wins. It was pretty simple back when all the good racers was there. Richard Petty, the Richard Petty era, I guess I watched. And now I haven't watched it in so long. I don't know that I would know any of the drivers anymore. But, Richard Petty, and then Dale Earnhardt, and Garrett. Dale Jarrett. Yeah, Dale Jarrett was my favorite for a while. Hey, Georgie, we see you. Oh, look, Miss PJ knew they had a date. Look at that. She was just primping a little bit longer before she come in for you, Paul. But no, I hadn't watched NASCAR in a long time. I used to enjoy it. We're not too far from Talladega. I keep saying we're going to take our camper over to Talladega one of these days. Cletus McFarland. He was a fan of racing, and now he's entered NASCAR. Well, I might have to go check Cletus McFarland out. I like the name. That good coffee?
Mm-hmm.
I did good.
Uh-huh. You always make good coffee. I'm the one that can't make good coffee.
So that's one of the things we've had going on this week was our little birds are hatching. Greg Biffle and Junior Cletus. You got me interested now. I might have to go watch this Cletus guy. See what does he drive? What's he drive?
Car.
I know that, but they got Ford, they got I guess Ford Mustang, Chevrolet, Camaro, Toyota. Is Toyota in there? And I've heard that Dodge is coming back. I like good old boys. Yep. Have you heard that
Is that good coffee?
Dodge is going to come back? It's all right.
Who's Boss Junior?
I
don't watch the birds.
Oh, okay. So Boss Hog is a redbird, a cardinal.
Yeah.
And we've determined that we have more than one.
What?
Yeah, it's not always the same cardinal,
Oh.
but we can't name them all, I don't think. So I'm assuming it was a different cardinal. She's just calling it Boss Junior. Thank you for taking over for me this morning, Miss PJ.
That's why she was late. She had to rest up.
She had to rest up from all that work she had
That's
to do
right.
this morning, taking care of my
That's what
stream
she
for
did.
me.
It's his fault, Paul.
Yep. His real name is Garrett. Okay. Well, good. One of my best friends is named Garrett.
She say who?
We called him something else, but he don't go by that anymore.
He changed around a couple of times.
Roman Atwood and him partnered up on that new drink of Roman Atwood. Well, I'm going to have to go watch Cletus. I guess they race on Sunday.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim, what's happening, brother? Glad y'all here. I know most of y'all over there watching Mama Coop and Chris. I don't know if they're still going or not. Don't mean to interfere, but, with so many of us doing channels now, can't help but overlap with each other. But we don't have enough to talk about every day. We're not that
We really
good.
don't have enough to talk about once a week.
We got some things we can talk about. What else did we do this week since the last time?
Shopped.
What did you shop for?
I shop for clothes and
Okay,
such.
you went and got some clothes. But we also made some jelly.
Oh yeah, I did make some jelly.
So we've got a supplier for mayhaw juice, and we make mayhaw jelly. So we got to do that this week. We got 3 gallons, and we still have 1 gallon left, don't we? So we made jelly out of 2 gallons, and that's what we did last year was 2 gallons, and it was pretty much. And we gave more away than we should have last year.
Well, because we thought we had a lot.
We had 40-something jars.
And you eat a lot.
That's the best jelly in the world. Oh, Miss PJ wants to know if you got them nails done.
No, they need it. But no, they need it. They need to feel.
Mine are okay. Thanks for asking.
I might can let them go about another week.
Hey, when I get low on coffee,
Actually, I'm going to wait and get them done right before we leave.
when I get low on coffee, and you don't want me to get up and go get it, when you go get it, bring a jar of jelly and we'll show them what it looks like.
Oh.
We'll show you what our Mayhaw jelly looks like. But anyway, last year, 2 gallons made 40 something
About
of those
48.
little, 48 of those little jars,
Half pints.
half pints. Yeah. And
That's a lot.
yeah, it was a lot, but we gave a good bit away, just because we're nice like that. And then before the season rolled around, we almost run out.
And almost couldn't find the lady that.
Yeah.
That was a chore to find her.
We didn't make a note of who the lady was we got the juice from last time. So this time it was an effort digging back old phone records and posting stuff. And we finally found a number on her and called her. And I was so tickled that I found that number. So we met her and we got 3 gallons this time. So we made 2 gallons, and you can put 1 gallon in the freezer as long as you freeze it. And then whenever you get ready, you can take it out and let it thaw out.
And we can get the juice anytime now.
Does she freeze some? And
She
keep it?
freezes the berries. And then whenever somebody wants juice, she gets it out and juices it.
Oh, okay.
That's what she said.
Well, I was talking to her husband while you were talking to her.
Yeah.
We met in a parking lot, and very friendly couple. So me and the husband ended up over here talking, and the 2 ladies was over by the other car talking. And so I don't know everything that went on with the conversation. So she freezes a bunch of berries throughout the year. She can make,
and then she can make, because it's so many berries. She has so many berries. She did tell me that she's going to quit juicing. She was going to quit doing all that. And then I asked her about who else we could go to get the juice. She says, well, I'm going to still do it.
So she's
not going to push herself so hard. She's
Right.
not going to, because I think they did.
But since we're repeat customers,
She was doing, I don't know.
keep us in the books.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I got that, and I started eating when I was a baby, and I done got good at it. I eat a lot. Yeah. The berries are about that big around.
And they're kind of tart.
Yeah, they're actually, if you just eat the berry straight, it's kind of tart, a little bit. So the jelly takes a lot of sugar, but it's really good.
It was 4 cups of the juice.
Yeah.
And 5.5 cups of sugar.
But all jellies like that takes a lot of sugar. I've got a couple of mayhaw trees planted, but it takes anywhere from 4 to 6 years for them to make. And I think this year was the 4th year, and it didn't make any berries this year. So I'm hoping next year. So eventually we'll have our own mayhaw berries. I got 2 trees, and that'll probably be more than what we need.
But I got to figure out how to juice them.
It's kind of convenient buying the juice from this lady, because that's
a big step.
That's a big step, juicing the berries out. And we pay her $20 a gallon, and it's worth every penny not to have to do that. But the other side of that coin is, once our trees start making berries, and we kind of have to do our own.
Not necessarily.
I don't know. We'll see.
By then, I'm gonna be really old.
Yeah. No, they're more like a red. Gooseberry pie. I need lots of sugar, and they were super tart without it. Yeah, that's why these are not super tart, but they are a little bit tart.
We ain't never had a berry.
Tim asked how the truck's coming. The truck is coming along good. I haven't put another video out yet, but I'll probably video some tomorrow. I've sanded it down to 600 grit, and I got it up in my shop. I got it taped up today, and the plan is to have paint going on in the morning. It's a two-tone color for this particular truck, this 89. So silver paint is going to go on tomorrow, and then maybe the blue paint will go on the next day. I got to let that silver set up good.
Wouldn't you want to wait at least a day to do that?
Actually, you can do it after a couple of hours, but I'm probably going to wait longer than that.
Because you got to put that tape on it.
I know. But yeah, I spent today, after I got back from my doctor's appointment, I spent this afternoon getting the truck taped up and plastic on it, and ready. It can be painted first thing in the morning. It might get painted while the bird feeder's on in the morning, because I got to do it while it's cool. I might do that while the bird feeder's playing. I'll count on Miss PJ again to help run the show while I'm out there painting on the truck. But I'll video some tomorrow, and I'll get a video out in the next few days, probably putting both colors on. I'm enjoying working on the old trucks. I can't stay out there like I used to could when I was younger. I get tired, and we're getting, it's getting more and more hot. That's why it's more and more hot. The temperature is going further and further up each day. So by the afternoon, it's usually pretty warm.
I would have just said it's getting hotter.
Is hotter a word?
Yeah.
I guess it is. I don't know. I didn't pay attention in school to what's a real word and what's not. Gooseberry. I'm not familiar with gooseberry. Are you? I'm not familiar with gooseberry.
I just have heard of a gooseberry pie, but not gooseberry. One through not.
So we're going to shoot the breeze a little bit this afternoon. Kind of the way I wanted to lay out our lives. We'll just chit chat for a little while. Then I'd like to cover one big topic that's in the news. We'll think about something. Maybe y'all got something. If we were going to talk about a particular news topic, what would y'all want? Y'all tell me in the chat. What's the big thing in the news right now that y'all would want to talk about? I know what never mind. I know what I want to talk about. And then I want to plug a channel, a YouTube channel every week. And man, I've got a pretty neat one today I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about it in a little while. This young lady does not need help getting subscribers, and I'm sure she'll take whatever, but she started a channel just a few months ago, and it has taken off. She's got 40-something thousand subscribers. But anyhow, I want to tell y'all about her channel and show that to y'all in a little bit. But for now, we're just shooting the breeze, having coffee. She's going to get me some more coffee, and she's going to bring a jar of jelly in here to show y'all what it looks like. A jar of the Mayhaw jelly. And it's pretty common down here in the South, the Mayhaw jelly, but believe it or not, I'd never really had it until a couple of years ago. Some of her family gave us a jar, and I just fell in love with it. So last year we found some juice, made some, and we did it again this year. And I got me some trees. And I planted me some trees so we can have our own Mayhaw. Hey, look, y'all don't forget to reach down there and hit the like button now. and we are streaming on YouTube and all that other one. Rumble. That's what I was trying to think of. YouTube and Rumble. I don't know why I go blank sometimes. Show them that pretty jelly. Look at
That's
that.
on Mayhaw.
It's got a real pretty color to it. Man, that's good stuff. If you ever at a farmer's market or something and you see it, grab you some of it. It's not real common.
But
Yeah, Rumble. It finally hit me, Chuck.
there was some we bought. It wasn't good. That lady made, and I bought me a little jar of it. And it wasn't good.
Yeah, we did buy a jar
Before we made some.
before we made some, and
Before I got my juice.
yeah, we got our juice and made ours, and our jelly was much better than what we bought.
This lady's that I bought that jar of stuff that was already made. I bought. It was a funny color. I kept saying, I don't think it's supposed to be this color.
I think
and
she'd put some dye in it or something.
I don't know. What are you doing?
I was going to go over to Rumble and see if we have any viewers on Rumble.
Yeah.
But turn the sound off of Rumble somehow.
Right
All went
there.
over there. I thought it was right here. Y'all bear with me. There we go. So we got 2 people over on Rumble, which is probably some of y'all that got both of them going. And that's cool. Hey, Fun Laughter. Who is Fun Laughter? I don't know that I've seen Fun Laughter before. We got you over there on Rumble. Hey, thanks for watching on Rumble. We appreciate it. I'd love to see Rumble get bigger than what it is. I mean, they're trying. They're working on it. They're trying to. They're playing catch up. They're behind. They're behind YouTube. They really are. But yeah, Fun. I watched Dara Chat. I watch him, and he's pushing hard to try to help Rumble get bigger. But I remember when all the fallout came about YouTube being left and censoring and all that junk, and all these other things came out. Rumble was one of them, and they pushed it. You saw advertisements about Rumble, and you don't see that anymore. I think they need to advertise more to try to get more people on Rumble. It was a big push back in the day when they first come out, but they've stopped all that. I think they need to do more advertising. Yeah, and I would like to see Restream show us how many people are on Rumble. I can see on Restream how many are on YouTube, but I can't see it on Rumble. I have to go physically open it up and look at it to see how many are on Rumble. All right. Fun Laughter says date night. I'm not sure what that means. PVOSD. Oh, she's saying P-Vols, Paul Vols. Okay, gotcha. All right, I'm going to go ahead and drop that off of there. We'll get to that in a little while. What you playing over there?
I'm not.
I see a wheel spinning.
I'm just collecting coins.
Oh.
So I can play.
Y'all play, is that Monopoly Go?
No.
Oh, that's something else. Y'all play that Monopoly Go thing? I don't. Well, I do, but I don't. She started one up in my name to give her another one to play, but I don't play it.
Well, everybody has their thing. You sit over here and sit and watch YouTube and Facebook all day, and then I play my game some.
Well, yeah. I guess my thing is YouTube. Let me turn that thing, see you better. Get you more centralized. There's my boy back there.
What?
Neil, standing behind you.
Oh,
Our son snuck up behind us. She didn't even know.
I can't see him.
Come over here and wave at the people. There's the boy. Yeah, fun laughter. I get lost sometimes. I know. I was trying to figure out what you were saying about something date night thing, but you said PVOSD instead of PVOSS. I think she meant Paul Boss.
Yeah. I thought she's talking in code myself, so I just, whatever.
Candy Crush. I never played that one either. You did though, didn't you? Didn't you play Candy Crush?
Till I couldn't go any further, and it was aggravating, so I quit.
Chucky said that was his thing. Look at that. I got to put captions on there. Yeah, I got to have my caption. Remind everybody to subscribe. Of course, everybody that's watching probably is subscribed to us. And we appreciate it. You know, we finally hit 1,000 subscribers. Now we need watch time. Okay, got you, Miss PJ. Now I understand. You got that? So this fun dash laughter is Miss PJ. Fun laughter is her name on Rumble.
Oh.
No wonder I was confused. I got it now though. Yeah, I got it now. What else have we done? We've done something this week, huh? So we made the jelly.
You went and got bees.
Taking care of the bee. I did go get me some more honeybees.
That's it. This week's
So
okay.
I have beehive. Well, I had beehives. But it's getting harder and harder to keep bees. I don't know why, but it is. But anyway, all my bees had left me. And I got a brother.
All right. There's somebody else from Rumble.
What?
But it could be somebody else that.
Which one are you looking at? Detonator?
Yeah.
Hey, Detonator.
Who is that on?
Dual streaming, dual watching. Well, I don't know. This could be one of our YouTube people.
I know. Chucky.
That has a different name on Detonator. On Rumble. All right, Detonator. If you are on YouTube and Rumble,
It's Trucky.
is that Chucky? Is that Chucky? I didn't think about that. People using different names on the different channels. It could get confusing. That's all right. Look, if you got a Rumble channel, go ahead and pop it open too. But anyway, all my bees left me.
Did I get it right, Chucky?
So I had to go get me some more bees. That was a long trip too. We didn't get in till about. I didn't get in till about 11:30
I got
that
it right.
night. You did good.
He was the only other one that was in there. It says 6.
I'm not going to be able to keep up with all these names, handles, whatever they call them.
I have a Rumble, but I don't know what my password is.
We have our Rumble channel is the same name as our
Oh, there's Mr. Coop.
YouTube channel. Hey, Mr. Coop.
No, I opened up Rumble long time ago before you did all this. When everybody was switching over.
He said you got his secret identity. All right, Mr. Cooper, is Mama Coop and Chris still going, or have they ended? I was watching them until we went live. So now I've got me some more bees to hopefully get started again. It's just getting harder and harder.
What?
To do the bees.
Oh. Well, you get into stuff and then you do it and then you quit.
I didn't quit the bees. They quit me.
You quit them. You did.
How did I quit the bees?
You quit fooling with them.
Oh. Well, anyhow, I got some more. Oh, from 6 to 8. So they do 2 hours. Okay. Wow. I don't believe I could talk 2 hours. I don't know. We did one time. But.
Oh, it's from 5 to 7. Our time.
Yeah, it'd be 5 to 7 y'all's time. Okay. I got you.
Time.
Yeah, 5 to 7 our time. So at 7 o'clock, in about 20 minutes, they'll be through. Neighbor has a nice garden going this year. Okay. Yeah, look, Chucky, I've got all the stuff. I've got boxes on. I had about 5 hives at one time, and some of them are really strong hives, but I had a strong hive. One day I went out there, the next day they were all dead. So they done got into some poison or something somewhere, and then they call it absconding. They'll just leave, no reason. You go out there and they'll just be gone. And she's sort of right. I did kind of quit fooling. Oh, thank you, Miss PJ, for that super chat. Look at you go. I did kind of quit fooling with them, and I was down to one strong hive, and it absconded on me. They left. So I was not going to fool with it this year. I've got plenty of honey. I was going to wait a year or two and get back into it. But somebody offered to give me a hive, so I went.
But like the jelly.
Thank Miss PJ. She just gave you $2 in a super chat.
Thank you, Miss PJ. But just like the jelly, I give the honey away.
Yeah, we give a lot of honey away.
I do sell some.
Yeah, and yeah, we do sell a little bit. We have a few people that know we have it, and they'll come buy it from us. But we don't actively try to sell it. I can kind of help you with that, Mr. Coop. I've done it a long time. I did it when I was a kid with my dad, and of course, there's issues now that we have with bees that you didn't have 20 years ago. There's a little mite. It's called a varroa mite. It came from
Move that.
China, I think. Move what? That. I think it came from China. We didn't have that back in the day, but we got them now. You got to treat for them and all that. Pollinate the prickly pears. Yeah, they're good for pollination. And it's a fun hobby. Honestly, I don't particularly care for honey, but I like the hobby.
When I cook with it, you do eat when I cook with it.
I know, but a lot of people just eat honey and put it on their biscuits and put it on this and put it on, and I don't do all that.
It is good butter.
I did try to sweeten my coffee with it for a little while. That just didn't work for me.
I do sometimes if I need it.
What, in your coffee?
Uh-huh.
I don't mind it, I guess, but the problem is the sugar is sitting right beside the honey. I kind of reach to the same spot. Well, I'd rather just have the sugar. Prickly pears, the cactus, right? Is that the Mickey Mouse ear shaped cactus? Is that what a prickly pear is? Yeah, it's good to cook with. We use it to cook with, and really, we kept a lot of honey um, because if
We
there's,
don't make quite that much, Chucky.
I think he's talking about
Prickly pear things.
the prickly pear stuff. They distill that.
Oh, I thought he was talking about honey.
That's a lot of honey. If that is what he's talking about, 150
Maybe he's
gallons.
talking about the pear things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, cooking with it is good. But anyhow, I was saying I kept a bunch of honey in case there's ever a run on sugar in the store, like it was toilet paper or whatever. At least we'd have something we can cook with and sweeten with. So I'm going to keep a certain amount just in case of that.
Because honey don't go bad.
Right. Honey never goes bad. It might crystallize on you, but you can put it in some hot water and heat it back up and it'll go right back to honey. Georgie's still here, bouncing back and forth. Well, we appreciate that. I hate that we're on the same time as somebody else in the group, but some of y'all do it every day. I mean, we just had to pick a day and say, okay, this is the day we're going to come over. We're only going to do it once a week. I don't have enough to talk about to do it every day. We're kind of bored. I think we're boring anyway, but that's good. That means we don't have to do anything. That's why we're boring.
Mm-hmm. Well, this month we have just a couple of things to do.
What?
We going to a graduation party. Can't do the graduation, but we can do the party.
Yeah, we got a granddaughter that's graduating.
Yeah. And so she's only allowed so many tickets for graduation. We didn't make the cut.
That's fine with me.
Anyway, she's got a party the day before, so we're gonna do it. Crawfish boil.
Yep. I don't know. Y'all probably don't do crawfish where y'all are at, most of y'all. But it's an event down here. It's not really the meal. It's an all day long event. Well, thank you, Paul. I don't want to cut in on their time, but we had to pick a day, and Thursday is the day. We'll do this every week. Yeah, they are good.
He don't like them because it's work. I don't care.
To me, it's not enough sugar for a nickel. You work pretty hard to get that little piece of meat out of there, and you have to eat 1,000 of them.
I don't eat anything that does not eat grass.
It's more about the event. You stand around in the backyard and, boil these things, and it takes hours to boil.
You put all kinds of stuff in it.
Yeah.
It's crawfish. Some people, potatoes and sausage, and then some people
corn.
put, corn, and then some people put,
old mud bugs. That's right.
What are those little things? Oh, I went blank. I got his disease.
Yeah. I'm not sure you're talking about. I don't know. I don't know what's talking.
Those little.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That little green. We can't even think about that.
Yeah. That's where
Yeah,
we're going, is in Louisiana.
yeah,
to
we're
eat.
going over to New
But
Orleans. That's where
we
we're
have
doing
them
that.
here all the
Yeah,
time.
we have them here too.
So
But yeah, we're actually going to New Orleans for that.
growing up, now we grew up in Mississippi,
Yeah, we had them in Mississippi. We still have them in
and we
Mississippi.
grew up going to catch them and eat them.
Yeah, we used to go do that. But yeah, the old crawfish. But it's more of an event. It's not necessarily the meal. It's the all day event in a backyard and having a good time. Yeah.
I was gonna say rutabagas, but it's not. It's
I know it's that little green thing. I can't even think now. What the hell? And I like them.
I call them little cabbages, but what's
Yeah.
those things called?
Oh goodness. So Mr. Coop, you hang around. I'm gonna talk in a minute about that Black Hawk crash. I feel like I need to talk about that again because they're getting it all wrong in the news, the way they're trying to spin it. So what else do we have? Oh, no, we got.
Oh, and then we're going to the villages, and that's all I can.
That's
think
right.
of.
We are going to make a second trip to the villages. We're going to go hang out down there for a week.
I was going to try to get a cruise in there, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, the youth coming up don't want to work like the past generations. They want to make easy money. You know, they don't want to get in the crawfish business and the catfish business and all that. It has a lot of work. I'm sure some of them will, but most of them don't want to fool with it. Hey, Jamal, what's happening, man?
He used to
Glad
go
you're
down
here.
to the what do they call that place? It's down by the river. The Monarco.
Oh yeah, Old River.
Yeah, the old river.
Yeah.
Go crawfishing, and some years there were so many. All you had to do is just drive and pick them up.
Yeah, they're just crossing the road.
All over the place.
them up.
Scoop them.
Normally, you take a net, put a tie
Chicken neck
on it, put it out there, and the crawfish come to it. You pick the net up, empty it, put it back out there. You'd have rows of them, and you just pick them up. It's fun.
That's what we did as a kid.
Yeah, when we were kids, that's what we used to do. All right, now look, all you young people that like to use those letters, Jamal, what's WSP stand for?
I'd say, "What's up?"
What's up? Is that what it stands for? I don't know. No. See, all you young kids, y'all use these letters, and you got to tell me what, you got to type it out for me. Everybody tell Jamal hello. Yeah, kind of like a hoop net. We'd have a long stick. We'd reach out there and pick it up. Empty the crawfish off of it into an ice chest and put it back out there. And we would have a whole row of them, quite a few of them.
Go down the line, picking them up. And the time you get down here, it was time to start back.
Yep.
What, am I right? That's what's up?
WSP, is that what that stands for? What's up?
That's what it looks like it would mean. But that don't mean it.
I don't know. All these young folks come up with these.
River kept saying these initials. BRK. I'm like, what is that? Wednesday. Oh, there's Wednesday.
I thought he had AFK, away from keyboard.
He had that too. He would say different things, and I'm like, what does that mean?
Hey, Wednesday. What's happening? Waving right back at you. I know LOL. That's about it. BRB, be right back.
Yeah, Chucky, but we used to go down into, it was just in ditches on the side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah, when the river water would get up and flood ditches, that's where we'd go down to the ditches, and that's where we'd set our nets out and catch crawfish. We're doing good here, Jamar. We're glad you're here tonight. Join the group. I know WTF, but we'll leave that alone. I don't talk like that.
What, the front door?
What, the front door? That's right. Yeah, we keep it clean.
I know, right? I know that one,
What?
IKR.
Oh, is that what that stands for?
I know, right?
I know, right? Okay.
But no, that next one, I don't know.
All right, IIRC.
That's an L.
Is that two lower L's?
Well,
Or is that a capital I?
well, I don't know.
I don't know. All right, Chucky, you got to tell me what that is. I don't know. Yeah, definitely PG on here. Leaning more towards G.
I don't know.
Look, you can get all the R and X rated junk on other channels. Plenty of it out there. So we keep ours clean.
If I recall correctly.
If
Okay.
I recall correctly.
That's too hard to think of. I would just have to write it out.
Jamar, are you asking how long have we been doing it tonight or in general? Tonight, we've decided to do it every Thursday at 6:00 Central Time. We've had our channel for quite a while, and we've done a lot of lives, but we didn't have a set schedule. We just, whenever we felt like it, we would just go live. So now we're trying to kind of formalize things. We're going to do it every Thursday.
He's got 1,001 subscribers.
All right, Jamar, have you got 1,001 subscribers? Or are you saying we do, or what are you saying there? We've got a little over 1,000.
What?
He said he was joking.
What?
About if I recall something.
Oh, that was a joke. I don't know.
Yeah, tonight we started at 6:00. We've been on here almost an hour.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to do it every Thursday. We'll be here at 6:00, unless for some reason we can't do it. But we're trying to kind of schedule every Thursday at 6:00. So glad you're here, and we hope you'll come back. So now, Chucky, was that for real? Was that a for real acronym, or did you just make that up? Yes, we finally hit 1,000 subscribers, Jamal. With the help from
everybody,
a few of the people that's in here, they really helped push our channel for us and get us to that 1,000. And we are very much appreciative of that. All right, what's another acronym we might not know? Like I said, I know LOL, BRB. I know AFK now, away from keyboard.
Oh,
don't they have something like parents, when the parents are in the room or something? The kids tell each other to let them know, look, my parents are in the room. I can't talk right now, or something like that.
POS, parent over shoulder. I don't know.
Parent over shoulder. I think the kids have. I think the kids have some little acronyms they can use to let whoever they're talking to know that the parents are in the room. Are you? She just got a nosebleed. That happens kind of regular with her. Yeah, Miss PJ, thanks for mentioning that. So every morning from 7 to 9 for 2 hours, I live stream our bird feeder. And we've got a handful of birds that come. It's a small enough amount that Miss PJ's named just about every one of them. All right, Jamar is at 306 subscribers, and he's trying to reach 1,000. So, what's the name of your channel? Put the name on there so everybody can see what it is. All right, so you say you're trying to, you're saying 100K, but I think what you mean is you're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and you're at 306 now. Yep, Jessica and Wednesday's helped name the birds. I might have named one, I don't remember, but we've tried to give all of them that are coming to the feeder a name, and when they land, I usually pop the name up on there. Except for the chickadees, they're too quick. They land, grab something, and go. I can't even get the name up there. Yep, Miss Karen with Karen's books, she named some of them. Sure did. So that was to help get watch time, and I still need about 300 hours to reach the 4,000 watch hours. Now, things like tonight helps. The bird feeder's helping. But the more people that'll turn that on in the mornings and watch that will help. So in the mornings from 7 to 9, if you're getting ready for work or whatever you're doing, if you don't mind, bring up our bird feeder and watch and listen to some birds, or just have it playing in the background, something. Help us get some watch time. Okay, Jamar's trying to reach 1,000.
Are you subscribed?
I'm not sure. I told him, Jamar, put your name of your channel on here so we can see. Yeah, the chickadees are flashers. They flash in and flash out. They're pretty quick. And then, of course, all of those live feeds in the morning that we do, they're still on our, they're on our channel. They're on our page. So anytime you guys have a minute, pull one of them up and just let it play. Give us some watch time. Let me see if I can find it. We are at 1,015 subscribers right now. Let's see. Tunes.
YouTuber, go there.
Let's see.
There it is.
23.9. That's what I got.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's see. We're going to show you Jamar. Here's Jamar's channel. I ain't got the sound on, but I wanted you to see it. Let's see. There we go. Right there. Here's Jamar. So, Jamar, you look like a nice young man. You got your channel going. You're getting some shorts out there. So everybody can hear, everyone here can see Jamar and his channel. So there it is.
You gotta hit subscribe.
I'm going to hit the subscribe button right now. Look here. I'm fixing to add one to you. Let's see. You got 305 subscribers. You're fixing to have 306. There we go.
So you got 81 videos.
You got 80. Where does it show? Videos?
At the top, beside that.
81 videos. Okay. All right. Looks like you got some gaming going on. Mm-hmm. All right, there you go. Y'all go check out Jamar. That's the best I can do for you, Jamar. I hope it helps. Yeah, what's your channel about?
Looks kind of like yours, all over the map.
Yeah, yeah, that's the problem with our channel. We're all over the map. It doesn't help. I never did hear anything here. Jamar says he does all of it. He's a jack of all trades. Does it all. He dances, plays music, plays video games. Whole 9 yards. Full package. Mostly does song covers and dance. All right. We'll be looking forward to that next video. Okay. Is Mr. Coop still in here? I don't know if he is or not. All right.
What was you going? Oh, why was you asking if Mr. Coop was there?
Because he's usually interested in the aviation stuff when I talk about it. That's the reason I wondered if he was still in here. He's probably watching Mama Coop. Of course, they should be ending, so maybe they'll hop on over. Some of those will hop over. Jamar says he wants to come on and sing for us. Hey, Georgie, glad to see you back. I guess Mama Coop and Chris are ending theirs now. It should be. I'm going to have to go look at some samples, Jamar. I sure might get you on here and let you sing for us, though.
Heroes.
There's Heroes. Y'all must have ended your live over there. Glad to have you in here, Heroes. Glad you came over. I don't know how many did y'all have watching tonight, Heroes? I didn't even pay attention. Hey, Redneck, what's happening? Came from the T-Moon crew. Yep, Mama just ended. I figured they should be ending theirs about now. Hey, y'all hit the like button when you get here. Just go ahead. It's free. Just reach down there and hit that like button. And tell folks about our channel.
Jamar said he would love to sing for you.
All right. Oh, he's still dancing. Heroes still dancing on the outro. Okay, gotcha. All right, Miss PJ went and subbed for you, Jamar. So you picked up a couple of them anyway. That's good. There's Yankee Bell over on Rumble.
Jamar said something else. I'm doing clothes.
Yeah, we're glad we could help you out, Jamar. We don't mind at all. Yeah, hit the like button and subscribe. We would appreciate it. Hey, look, I wanted to talk tonight. I think the news thing is kind of old news, but I'm gonna go back to it. The Black Hawk that ran into the airplane over there in Washington. I'm seeing a lot of stuff they're putting out is not right. they're blaming this young lady, I think, too much. So the female pilot was a captain, I believe, and she was flying with a warrant officer. And the bottom line, the aircraft was too high. They were supposed to be at 400 feet or below, and they were above 400 foot. So, if you want to just full stop, that was wrong. That was the problem. That's what caused the accident. They were above where they were supposed to be. But now what they're doing is they're saying that she was the pilot and the guy in there with her was co-pilot. And they're saying that, that she was flying the aircraft, that part's true. She was on the controls. But let me clear some of that up for you. And I'm not necessarily, yes, I'm talking about the DC incident. I'm not taking up for her. I'm really not. I just want to clear up some things that they're saying. Most of you know I was in the Army. I was a Black Hawk pilot, so I kind of know what I'm talking about here. The Army does not really use the term co-pilot. What you have is you have a pilot and you have a pilot in command. That's the two that are in the aircraft. So the media is using pilot and co-pilot, saying she was a pilot and he was co-pilot. That's not how it works in the Army. It's pilot and pilot in command. So when someone gets out of flight school and they go to their first assignment, their unit, wherever, usually fly for about 2 years. After about 2 years, they've got enough experience. They recommend them as a pilot in command. That involves taking a check ride. Now you go take a check ride, and it's a real in-depth check ride to make sure you know what you're doing and that you have the knowledge and the experience to be a pilot in command. And if you want to equate that, it would be like being a captain for, say, the airlines. You're in charge of the air. The pilot in command is in charge of the aircraft. So you take that check ride, and if you pass, now you're a pilot in command. So now you can fly with a more junior pilot, but the pilot in command has full responsibility for the aircraft. So now fast forward to this accident. They were doing a check ride. You have 3 check rides that you do in the Army aviation. One's just basically standardization. You go out and do the maneuvers. The other one is an instrument check ride. You go out and do instrument work and instrument approaches and show your proficiency in instruments. And the third check ride is a night vision goggle check ride. You go out basically at night with goggles on and do all the maneuvers that you did on that stand ride in the daytime. So those are the 3 check rides you have to take annually. This young lady was out to do her night vision goggle check ride, NVG check ride that night, flying with a warrant officer that was the instructor pilot. I can assure you the instructor pilot was the pilot in command of that aircraft. He had 100% responsibility of the safe operation of the aircraft. So they're trying to make it sound like she was the more senior person and she was on the controls and she's all at fault. And that's not true. She was on the controls. They did run into an airplane, but they were above the altitude they were supposed to be at. Big problem. But the person in charge of the aircraft was the other guy. And he mentioned something to her about her altitude, told her to descend. And she did. I think he mentioned it a couple of times, and she didn't do it.
According to the reports.
According to the reports and the tapes, he mentioned something about altitude a couple of times. And
he also mentioned something about taking a left turn or
right,
going to the right or left. I don't remember which way.
So
and she didn't.
Altitude, big problem. The pilot in command did not take charge of the aircraft and run the aircraft like it should have been. Second problem. As far as putting blame on her, she's down the list a little ways. Now, I'm not taking up for her. She might not have been a very good pilot. I don't know. She might have been a DEI kind of thing. I don't know. But I do know the media is getting it wrong. They're trying to make it look like she was in charge of everything and all this stuff. And that's not right. She was not in charge of the aircraft. The other guy was the pilot in command. And I'll tell you this from personal experience. And what I would do if I was pilot in command and I told the other person to descend or anything, I tell them and they don't do it. The second time I tell them, they're going to feel me getting on the controls and making the aircraft do what it needs to do. And if that continues to be a problem, I'll tell them to sit over there and tune radio something. I'll fly the aircraft. So that pilot in command should have been more in charge of his aircraft. So all that pilot and co-pilot and all that junk they're putting. Exactly. So she's bringing something up here and it says Black Hawk pilot failed to heed flight instructor before DCA plane crash. Right. But
he should have took over.
Oh yeah. He should have made it happen. You know, like I said, I might tell him one time, you know, you need to descend. Let's get down to whatever. And within 30 seconds, if they have not made a move to do that, I'm going to say it again, but I'm also going to get on the controls and physically make the aircraft start descending. And if that kind of thing happened more than once, we're fixing to have a big discussion between me and that other pilot. Yeah, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it that far, but I'm just saying a pilot in command, it has the ultimate responsibility for the safe operation of that aircraft. She was not the pilot in command. Now, here again, I'm not taking up for her, but I'm just trying to clear up what they're putting out on the news. They're trying to make it sound like she was the more senior person and she was this and she was that, and they're putting it all on her. And that's not how it works. It's not, I put way more blame on the guy that was in there with her. I really do. And I know what I'm talking about. She was a low time pilot, and I did. How far do I want to go here?
Okay, I'm
gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not taking up for her personally. I didn't know her, but look, don't listen to all that. They're making it out that she was all to blame, and that's not true.
So there it is.
As a pilot, I would blame that pilot in command, which was the guy that was with her, way more than I blame her. About 15 seconds before impact, I was told by instructor on them turn left toward riverbank, which would have conceivably moved them even further out of the way of the incoming plane. Yeah. They've got the black box.
But according to
and they have listened to it, and I've seen some excerpts of it, and he told her several things to do that she didn't do.
And he should have took over.
And look, I will tell one time, the second time I had to say it, I would be taking the controls. I would make the aircraft do what it needed to do. Why would they not be doing instructional flights over Arizona or New Mexico? Well, they were in Washington. Again, you got to do them where you're at. They had a published corridor to take the river below 400 feet to get them through that high traffic area. And it kept them below the instrument approaches coming into the airport. Yeah. And, the military has a deal, it's called crew coordination. And it's exactly what it sounds like. They have classes in schools you can go to, and they teach, how to work together as a crew and all this kind of stuff.
And it says right here.
And the thing she's looking at, what?
Go ahead.
It blames it was a crew coordination error, which it was. They didn't coordinate with each other.
And if you have to pin it on someone, it's the instructor. He should have grabbed the stick, and he had the authority to do that. But
so who put that on there?
this is hold on a minute. But we don't know those final moments. He could have been actually
Oh
going
yeah,
for it.
he might have reached for the controls and it's too late, but
Right.
he should have done that way sooner.
But how quick was all that happening?
Yeah.
You know, you don't know.
So she is finding an article that is saying what I'm saying. So evidently they're talking to somebody that knows what they're talking about. But the mainstream media, I guess it just sells more or whatever to try to blame it on this female captain. Now, she didn't do what that instructor told her to do, so that almost makes me lean towards she wasn't a very good crew member.
Right.
You know, but bottom line, he's more at fault as far as I'm concerned.
But he could have been, it says he could have already been reaching and trying.
I would have done it way before then.
Well,
Because he told her more than once. He told her a couple, 2 or 3 times, according to the transcripts. And
anyway.
anyhow, I just wanted to clear that up because the mainstream media is just making it sound like it was all her fault and she was, you know, in charge of everything. And that's not right. That's
400 is too
wrong.
high. They were supposed to be what, at 300?
I thought it was 400 and below. Maybe it's 300 and below. I don't remember.
300.
I know they were above the altitude they were supposed to be at. And that is what caused the accident. Full stop. Right there. That's, if you want opinion on one thing, that's it. Now, why were they above their altitude? Now that gets into the instructor pilot and the pilot and them talking. You know, she didn't do what he asked. He didn't take an aggressive enough action to remedy that. You know, and then you can back on up and say, well, you know, air traffic control should have been a little more forceful. Well, air traffic control told them about the aircraft, and the Black Hawk acknowledged that they saw the aircraft. Now, in hindsight, they were probably looking at a different aircraft, but, you know, you can't blame ATC because ATC told them, and they said, Roger, we got that aircraft. We'll go behind it. You're right, Paul. It is a shame that it happened. I hate it, you know, for all that were involved. But I keep seeing it on the news, and I just kept saying, you know, I'm going to talk about it. She gets tired of me telling her about it. Every time I hear it, I'm like, that's not right. That's not how it works. So most time in a unit, by the time you have a couple years in, you take that pilot in command check ride, and then you're pilot in command. So it's very common that 2 people that are rated pilot in commands fly together. In that case, usually the one with the more experience is assigned as pilot in command for that flight, and the other one is just pilot. And now and then you'll have 2 extremely seasoned pilots like me and maybe somebody my age. We got thousands of hours. We didn't care. You know, we get together. You want to be PIC? You want me to? I don't care. You can do it. You know, didn't matter to us at that point. The Black Hawk is dealing with civilian ATC. Military ATC would be on a military base, flying the base, and then there's no civilian traffic there. But you're talking about, this was a National Guard unit. It wasn't on a military base. It was out there in the civilian world. They're dealing strictly with civilian ATC. You're probably better off not watching it, Miss PJ. Yeah. So, you know, you talk, somebody mentioned, why didn't they do this out in a desert area or something? You know, you just don't have that luxury. You got to do it wherever your unit's at and all that. Now, what they were doing is
they have to do where they do their flying.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to train that.
But they had that corridor to get them through the populated area. They were going out to a less dense area. You know, with night vision goggles, you want to get to an area that's as dark as possible. You know, so they were probably headed out to a training area that they have established, you know, with very little density of population. And that's what that corridor was for. And another thing I thought about, I don't know if this is true or not, but another thing to think about, these aircraft using that corridor, getting through there, might have been busting that altitude on a regular basis, by a little bit. Excuse me. And ATC maybe didn't slap their hand about it, just kind of let it go. So over time, that ceiling that they had was kind of a soft, they considered it a soft ceiling. We won't stay close to it, but if you bust it a little bit, it's all right. They might not have been rigid on that ceiling, and if they haven't been, then there's another problem. I don't know that to be a fact. I'm just saying that could have been a contributing factor. I don't know. No, it's not programmable. You fly the aircraft. The National Guard pilots have to meet the same flight time requirements as an active duty pilot. Yeah. And I'm just going to go ahead and say most or a lot of National Guard pilots have a civilian job flying, and they log tons more time than active duty pilots. Not always, but sometimes. But yes, your National Guard pilots have to meet the same standards, flight time requirements and everything as active duty. So they're just as proficient or more proficient as active duty pilots, in my opinion. And they do train over unpopulated areas. That's what I'm saying. That's what that corridor was for, that they were flying the river below a certain altitude, was to get them through that populated area out to an unpopulated area. And they have a designated training area out there where they do their training and maneuvers and stuff. And it's usually over a very unpopulated area. And that's what they were doing. They were headed out. They were not in training mode and doing maneuvers yet. They were just trying to get out to their training area so they could start doing that stuff. The National Guard gives, and I'm still looking at your question, Chucky. The National Guard gives their pilots quite a few extra training days, paid training days that they come in. They don't do 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks during the summer. They do most of the time just about every weekend, and then they'll do 2 weeks in the summer for a summer camp, and normally do multiple summer camps. So they are quite proficient. Yeah, the DC crash was definitely pilot error, crew coordination, whatever you want to call it. The jury is still out on the Hudson River. It could go a couple of ways. If he was doing some erratic stuff, and it's a situation called mast bumping, where the teetering of the rotors, it could teeter in to the point to where this end where the mast is actually touches the mast, and that's called mast bumping. That would be fatal. I always thought if it touched the mast, it would cause the mast to snap. But this torque actually tore out the transmission, the mast, and the rotor system. It came out where the transmission mounts. When they pulled the rotor system out of the river, it still had the transmission attached to it. So a couple of things. Mast bumping might have done that. And if it was mast bumping, that's a pilot error. Or the transmission seized up. If it seized up and popped out, then now you're talking about mechanical. So, and if the transmission was to seize up, there would be some problems that would Well, you got three things that monitor the transmission. You got transmission temperature. There's a gauge that monitors the temperature of the oil that's in the transmission or the fluid. You've got transmission pressure. You got a gauge that measures that. And you've got a transmission chip detector. And a chip detector is about the size of a spark plug. If you picture a spark plug, instead of having rings all the way up at that screw in, it would have two rings, and they're not very far apart. They're maybe a 1/16 of an inch apart, but those two rings are what? You falling asleep? Okay, she's falling asleep, but
I'm just kidding.
if y'all want to hear it.
I'm just
So those two rings are connected to a circuit, and that circuit is broke at those two rings, but they're magnetic. So if there's a metal piece coming loose in the transmission into that fluid, it will get to that magnet, and when it connects those two rings, and I'm talking a very minute part, it's very small. When it connects those two rings, that makes the master caution come on right in front of the pilot, and a chiclet light that tells, would say transmission. So you got a chip in the transmission. So something's coming apart in the transmission. So that one, it's in your face. When that master caution comes on, it's in your face, and it gets every pilot's attention immediately. The other two, the temperature and the pressure, is kind of like a gauge in your car. It's there, and it's, how often do you look down at your
to look at that check engine light?
Your battery gauge. But you got, most cars still have the alternator battery gauge, shows whether it's charging or not, and how much it's charging. How often do you look at that? So the pressure and temperature, he would have to physically monitor. So you got a guy doing tours, and he's pointing things out to his passengers, and he's telling them all about this and all about that. Temperature or pressure could have been causing, those gauges could have been trying to tell him something. He just didn't look at it, just didn't see it. I don't know. I'm just throwing this stuff out there. Now, if it was a chip, master caution going to come, you'll see that. And from what I understand, he was about a 500-hour pilot, which is not very much experience at all. And he was civilian trained. I'm not gonna knock civilian trained pilots, but I will say with helicopters, the military trained pilots get a whole lot more.
That whole thing comes out.
Oh yeah, regardless of what happened, when that thing came off, you're just a rock. Then you're
There's
gonna
nothing
fall.
to glide.
Yeah.
See, that's what Chucky was asking about.
Yeah, if you have an engine failure, you can do what's called an auto rotation. You can land the aircraft if you have an engine failure. But when the rotor comes off, that's it. And when that happened, it was so much torque, it made the tail boom snap off.
Then you just a body.
Yeah. Or he was doing an erratic maneuver, and the main rotor could have clipped the tail boom and clipped it off. There's several scenarios that could have happened there. And we won't know. We won't know. But I do know that when things started coming apart like that, there was nothing that pilot could do. Nothing.
Take it on to the ground. Ride it to the ground.
The only audible I remember having, I haven't flown in a while, but they did start putting altitude warnings, that were audible in military aircraft. What are we doing here?
Oh, Kenny sent you something.
Okay. Let's look at that later.
What is it? Oh.
So anyway, I wanted to talk about the Black Hawk and the civilian aircraft. They're putting too much blame on that young female. I'm not taking up for her. Again, I'm not taking up for her. I'm just saying they're wrong in the way they're putting it out. The pilot in command was, in my book, was more responsible than she was in what happened. So there we go. Okay, now all the ladies can start talking. Us guys, we're through talking about aircraft and mechanical stuff, so the ladies can jump back in. Tell us what your favorite recipe is or something. We'll talk about the girl stuff. Uh, are you talking about the one with the Black Hawk? Well, ATC should be a little more aggressive with these aircraft coming through there to make sure they do not exceed the altitude. Um, I think they had the right things in place. They really did. They got a corridor that's a safe corridor to get through there. I mean, that's designed and submitted to the FAA. The FAA looks at it and says, yes, this will work, and they approve it. And it's a long, drawn out process. It's got to be right. So that had been done at some time. I think they've been using this corridor for years. So everything was in place for it to be a safe way to transition through that area. They didn't follow that procedure. They busted that altitude. ATC could have been a little bit stronger in what they were telling them to do. They could have. They could have told them to descend now. They could have called the Black Hawk and said descend to 200 feet. They could have called the Black Hawk and told them they were busting the altitude. The PIC and the aircraft could have done things to make sure. I still put the majority of the blame on the PIC. He could have been more aggressive to, make sure that they descended. So I don't know of a whole lot of added things you could put in there now that's any better than what they already had. They just got to follow the standards that they had already put out. No, it's not a mountainous region. I don't think. Washington, D.C., it's not mountainous up there. The altimeter setting is given to them from the local airport. They give them the altimeter setting based on the pressure altitude in that area, or they can tune up on a frequency. They can listen to the weather report from that nearest airport, and it gives them their altimeter setting. Okay, Miss PJ's want to change the subject. All right, we're changing the subject. Miss PJ wants to know how long it took Sansi to learn mandolin. You take that one.
I'm still learning. Actually, to play a few chords, it didn't take a long time. It really didn't. He had to show me how to do it, and then I had to do the baby steps. Go from one chord to the next, and then add a third chord. But that's as far as I've gotten.
And how long did it take you to do that?
I said it didn't take me a long time. I don't know.
3 months? 6 months?
No.
2 months?
I'm going to say about a month to just do a couple of chords.
Yeah. There's a gazillion songs out there that are 3-chord songs. And on the mandolin, you can actually do a chord just using 2 fingers.
And that's what I do. I just do strumming. I don't do all that fancy stuff that a mandolin can do. So,
okay, look, he used the IIRC.
I can't remember what that meant.
If I recall correctly.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't remember.
I remember, Chucky, if I recall correctly. Yeah, neither one of us are what I would call accomplished musicians. We're okay.
I'm still having to follow him knowing when to change chords. I can't just, I get confused when I'm looking at the music and trying to read the chords, so I just have to follow him.
On my guitar, trimming my issue. All right. Okay, I think what you're saying is on my guitar, timing is my issue. Is that what you're saying? That the timing is your issue? Oh, strumming. Strumming is
We
your
can see
issue.
how that works.
Hey, Miss PJ, that's a good point. When I started learning guitar, and when most people think about learning guitar or looking at it, you think your left hand making those chords is the hardest part, but it's really not. You're right. There's a gazillion songs that use, say, G, C, and D. So once you learn those with your left hand, what makes them different is the way you strum it. That's what makes the song different. So really, well, for me, it's my right hand. Doing my strumming hand was much harder to learn. In time, I realized that, if you're going to play songs and play them right, your right hand has to learn so many different strumming patterns to try to make it sound right.
And that's where I'm saying that I just strum just to, I can't do all the fancy stuff that a mandolin can do that, people play it.
Yeah.
Because my right hand just don't want to cooperate.
And I'm not,
I don't have anybody teaching me. He don't know how to do well, he knows how to do it better than me, but.
Oh, thank you.
But anyway.
And I never took lessons. That's the wonderful thing about YouTube, man. You can learn a lot of stuff on YouTube. I got me a guitar and I watch YouTube videos and I learned that you don't really have to be talented. You have to be hard-headed. You have to pick it up every day. If you pick it up every day, even you just play a little bit. If you pick it up every day and play a little, it'll come. It'll get there. I promise you. Oh, the dulcimer. Okay.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, the dulcimer is a unique instrument for sure. That's a mountain instrument. They play those up in the mountains. It's got a unique sound. I need to learn some more songs.
Yeah.
Yep. So we kind of do a thing on Facebook with our friends. We'll go live on Facebook every now and then. We'll play and sing a little bit, but that's kind of just with our friends. I don't know that I want to do that on YouTube. We're not that good. No, we're okay.
I'm not that good for
We're
sure.
okay. We enjoy doing it. I haven't found how to do it on YouTube and make it sound right because these microphones don't do it justice, don't do it right. You're right, Chucky, but I'll say this. I picked up guitar to learn guitar for the first time when I was 48 years old. So it's never too late. I mean, you can do it.
And I was 60.
Yeah. So, Miss PJ, you got a homemade dulcimer? Yeah, picking up language is kids especially. I mean, our granddaughter, they were over in Italy and she picked it up.
She sang.
I think much faster than the parents did.
Yeah, she was singing me happy birthday in Italian.
I had cousins that was down in Puerto Rico or somewhere when they were little bitty, and they were very fluent in Spanish. But they moved back, and now they're my age.
You're gonna do that?
And I don't think they can speak a lick of it now. They lost it. They forgot it all
because they didn't practice it.
Yeah, because they didn't keep going with it.
And I think a granddaughter lost her Italian
Yeah.
Because when she went to school, I think she was doing Italian, like count. She would count in Italian, and they told her no, only English here. So she
Yeah.
wouldn't. She wouldn't even do it at home because the teachers told her no.
Right. The granddaughter was about 3, 4
Mhm.
when they left Italy, and now they're in Alaska, and she's not around it anymore. So she's probably, they've been there about a year.
But when she went to school,
They wouldn't let her.
they wouldn't let her.
Yeah.
Instead of letting her do it in Italian and then say, okay, now let's do it in English.
Yeah.
So she
So-
would keep it, but
She's probably lost it already.
and then and then you'd ask her and she wouldn't do it because the teachers told her no, we have to do it in English. So I tried to get her to do it.
Yep. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. I've got guitar sitting right here by my desk, and I sit here a lot during the day watching all y'all's YouTube lives. And I pick my guitar up pretty regular, and I play just a little bit.
Why are you looking at me?
I was waiting on you to tell them something.
I'm waiting on you to do that so
So what?
we can be through.
All right, I want to tell y'all about a YouTube channel. That's always going to be a little section of what we do. Usually the last section, I guess. I'm going to share a YouTube channel that I like, and sometimes it's to help them grow, and sometimes not. Because
Because this particular person
yeah,
don't need the help.
this person doesn't need the help. She has, I'd almost say gone viral, really. But I was watching. She had a live, I think yesterday. Might have been the day before, but I was watching it, and she's just in awe over how fast her YouTube channel has grown. It's like she don't understand it. Anyhow, I'm gonna share it with you right quick. Let me see. I'll try to put both of them up.
Both of what?
Us. And
Oh, I see what you're saying.
all right. So here it is right here. It's called Sunshine's Hot Dogs. See if I can do that. There we go. Now we got both of them up. So this lady, and I don't even remember her name. I really don't. I don't even know if she said it, but she's down in Florida. Ciao.
Okay, Chucky.
See you, Chucky. Thanks for being here tonight. We enjoyed talking. So she's down in Florida, and she got the idea to do a hot dog stand. She decided she wanted to, start up a little business and do a hot dog stand. And she decided to, make a YouTube channel about it. And what she does is she shares from start to finish. She going to Sam's or wherever she needs to go and picking up all her supplies. And then she goes out. She got, I guess, a particular place where she sets up. She videos out there serving hot dogs. And then at the end of the video, she shows how much money she made for that day. And to me, it's interesting, but she started about 4 months ago, and I don't know if y'all can see that right there. She has 44,000 subscribers in 4 months, which is incredible.
She started this channel 4 months ago?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because I looked at the videos and stuff. There's the first video 4 months ago. But she acts like she doesn't. She's just in awe at how everything's happening and how many followers and stuff she's got in such a short period of time, and it just she don't understand it, so to speak. But I kind of fully understand it. This is the American dream. This is people wanting to do. Now she got a regular job. I don't know what that is, but she's got a regular job, and she's doing this on the side. She started this business, and in America, that's the American dream. We're all pulling for her. Everybody's pulling for her to be successful. So you're either pulling for her to be successful, or you're you're one of those people that you thinking about doing a small business, but you hadn't taken that step yet, and she's kind of motivational, it'll motivate you to do that. It's like anybody that watches this can relate to it some way. And I think that's how the subscribers hit so fast. So now she should be making pretty good change on YouTube with that many subscribers and the many views she's getting. But yeah, I can see how something like this would grow and happen this fast. Even though she don't understand why it's going. I see it. I'm sitting back looking at it like, yeah, everybody wants the little guy because she didn't go. Now I don't know what her financial situation is. I'm not implying anything, but most people can't go just lease a building and start some big restaurant, and it takes lots of money to do that. Most people don't have that kind of money. But most people have a little money that they could do something small, start out small and grow from there. And so most people can relate to that. And everybody pulls for the underdog. Everybody pulls for the little guy. And everybody wants to see the American dream work. So her channel has just exploded. And I enjoy watching it. She seems like a very personable person. And her hot dog stand is doing okay. It's doing pretty good, and it's going to get better, I think. Going to get better and better. But she makes interesting content, and she's got a ton of followers. So I'm not putting this out there to try to help her grow her channel. She could probably help me grow mine. But it's just a channel that I like, and I've been watching it, and I've subscribed to it, and I'm going to watch her. And I hope that she's very successful. And I hope I can say, well, I watched it from the very beginning, and I saw her take her business and turn it into something fantastic. So that's the channel I wanted to share today. And that's why I wanted it. The only reason I'm sharing is because I like it. And I guess we did kind of share that other young fella's channel earlier. Well, look at you go, Miss PJ. So Miss PJ said she used to sell snow cones. Let me put that up there. So you know what this lady's doing. I think I went back and watched some of the early videos. I think she rented a storage building. I don't know if she still got it. I think she rented a storage building to put to store the hot dog cart in. She's got a small SUV that she pulls it with. She's talking about maybe bumping that up a little bit, and she's learning some things. I think the first cooler she had didn't keep her drinks as cold as she wanted them for as long as she wanted them to keep them cold. So she did a video talking about that and going to get another cooler, and so she's sharing her growing pains with her small business with everybody. But yeah, in just a few months, she's got 44,000 followers. So I guess we could all learn from her, right? But I don't want a job. You want to start a hot dog stand? She could start a hot dog stand, and I could stay home. And
I wanted to do a food truck of some sort a long time ago.
we did several years ago. We talked about doing a food truck. And disclaimer, we have had a couple of businesses, and they did okay. We were never afraid to step out and take a chance. And sometimes it works, sometimes no. Hey, most people that are successful in business, they had a lot of failures along the way.
But I think something like this, you can make it work a whole lot quicker than you can a standalone.
Yeah, she's doing it like I would do it.
Because you could travel to all these festivals. You can go and set up, all kinds of festivals close by.
So her channel is Sunshine's Hot Dogs. If you're interested, I'm sure y'all can see that.
Used to go house to house. That's kind of cool.
Well, the food truck idea came from my military days. We used to call them the gut truck or the roach coach, or we had fancy names for them. But there was a truck that would come around out in the field when we were out training, and they had small stuff. And that gave me the idea. Years ago, we talked about it and maybe doing one and hit like big construction sites. But we never did that particular one. And I still think that's a decent idea. It might work. But this young lady's doing it like most people would do. You know, she had to invest some capital to get the hot dog stand and her supplies, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't $100,000.
Right.
You know, it wasn't a huge.
If it didn't work, she's
right.
not out
If it
a
didn't
ton of
work,
money.
she's going to be out a little money, but you know, she wouldn't have went bankrupt over it. And that's kind of how I think most people are. And I think that's what resonates people to her channel because they can relate to it. You know, it's the American dream. You know, you start a small business and you grow it, and you know, and hopefully at some point she won't have to work for somebody else. She can work for herself. So everybody's pulling for her to be successful, and I think that's why her channel took off like it did, and will continue to grow. And I don't know what kind of money she might be making off of YouTube, but I'm sure the YouTube channel is probably making her more money than the hot dog stand at this point. But anyway, that's the one I wanted to share today, and I'll share another one next week. Now, I've always got to throw a plug out there for Georgie and Mr. Coop and Skipper. You know, I'll plug for them every week because they were really helpful with us getting us
Country
to.
kids usually did not see the ice cream trucks. Kids love hearing me come.
Got into your sleep.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah, the kids can hear the ice cream truck from 3 states away.
Yeah.
They can't hear you calling them and tell them to clean their room. Well, they can hear that ice cream truck. Yeah, Sunshine's Hot Dogs is the name of her YouTube channel. And she also has a Facebook page under the same name. Yeah, I know I'm pulling for her. I hope she does real good. All right, you got about 6 more minutes. And we'll be at 2 hours. We did make 2 hours tonight.
My back is killing me.
I'll rub it later.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be off camera. I should have watched her channel a little more. I'm sure she's given her name, and I should have been able to tell her name, but I didn't. But she's on the side of the road kind of thing. You know, these big trucks pull in, those truck drivers get out and get a hot dog, and she's just starting. So, you know, the word's still getting out. I think she'll get more and more busy as time goes on. Did we do good tonight? Well, look, I got to thank everybody in the chat too, because y'all, you know, when y'all jump in with us and give us stuff to talk about, it makes this a whole lot easier. I'm gonna have to give Miss PJ a #1 fan badge or something. I got to figure out how to do that. Miss PJ, when I figure out how to do #1 fan badge, you're gonna get the first one. We spend every morning together, don't we?
And
Paul's gonna get the second one. I don't want to leave anybody out. Several of y'all have been good to us, watching our videos and commenting and jumping in the chat, talking with us. All right, this is close enough to 2 hours. We thank y'all so much for coming in and spending your afternoon with us. We will be back next Thursday to do this again. Let me see if I can find, where was I'll play our outro. going out as soon as I find it. Bing, biddy. Video. Where did I have? There it is, right there. All right, we're going to share this with you, and we're going to get out of here. Thank y'all so much for coming with us tonight, and we will see y'all next Thursday.
On the run, songs he's got the playlist, singing out loud. Another open road, another brand new town. From the mountains high to the oceans deep, they're living the dream, they ain't losing sleep. With a glass more full and a tank of gas, they ain't slowing down, they ain't looking back. They fly through the skies, chasing the breeze. Roll down the road, feeling so free. Ride the waves where the sunsets go. Forever Huffs living wherever they go. Cruising down the coastline, drinking their hands, dancing on the deck to a steel drum band. Larry's cracking jokes, making new best friends. Saucy snapping pictures, cause the fun won't end. From the northern lights to the streets of Rome, everywhere they go they make it their home. With the world so big and their hearts so wide, they'll keep on moving till the end of the ride. They fly through the skies, chasing the breeze. Roll down the road, feeling so free. Ride the waves where the sunsets go. Forever Huffs living wherever they go. No map, no plan, just a ticket in hand. They'll follow the stars and the golden sand. Every new town, another great story. Living this life in all of its glory. They fly through the skies, chasing the breeze. Roll down the road, feeling so free. Ride the waves where the sunsets go. Forever Huffs living wherever they go. So if you see them on by, give them a wave. They're chasing adventure, they're feeling brave. Larry and Saucy, hearts open wide. Forever Huffs living, enjoying the ride.